I think it's safe to rest here now.
I'm amazed how easily you can move such a giant shield around like it's nothing.
Really? It's not actually as heavy as it looks.
It's really reassuring to have someone like you protecting us, though.
You know, I guess I never realized it before, but looking back, I've always been the sort to put myself in harm's way to protect those around me, even before I joined the Eldermenensia Guard. So in a way, using this shield to keep you all safe feels like it's what I was meant to do.
You don't need to worry about protecting me. I don't plan on relying on you.
That's okay. It doesn't matter if you do or not. I don't protect people because they ask me to. I do it because I want to, and because I think it's the right thing to do. That goes for you too, Dohalim.
Me?
Yes. You see, you and I both want the same thing. We have the same goal. That means it's in my best interest to continue to protect and keep you safe as well. Even now.
I'm not sure how much protecting I'll need either, but I appreciate the thought. I'm sure you'll do us proud, Kisara.
Right. You can all count on me.
What was Kelzalek even after in the end?
Isn't it obvious? Clearly he wanted the throne for himself, and was gonna have his goons execute Dohalim to get it.
He had to have known he couldn't hope to defeat a lord. He should have run while he had the chance, instead of holding himself up in the palace.
Maybe he thought he couldn't run? Either way, the outcome's the same.
So he got desperate and decided to go for broke?
One might argue that he was another victim of mine, in a sense.
Huh?
There is no greater calling in life to a Renin than the crown contest, yet I refused to take part. The shock he felt at that must have been truly immense, enough to drive him to revolt, even though doing so meant defying Renin hierarchy.
I know I've said this before, but Danans and Renins wouldn't coexist here if it wasn't for your stance.
But that was no lofty idealism on my part, nor do I feel any pride at what occurred.
Spare us the pity party. You literally just joined us to uphold those ideals.
Shion?
No, she's absolutely correct. I shall speak no more of my misgivings.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Mahag Sar. That makes 4 out of the 5 realms that I've visited now.
I wonder what kind of lord we're gonna find there.
It doesn't matter. If they try to get in our way, we'll take them down and that'll be that. I'm getting pretty hungry.
Wanna sit down and fix...
Ow! Dragon Swarm! I'm on it! Mega Flying Dragon!
If they rush you gotta jump for cover, okay?
Lightning Thrust! Mega Sonic Thrust! Dragon Swarm!
So those are Danan Astral Ardents.
Huh. Well then, I should probably think about tonight's menu.
No backing down! Here I come! Go! Strike!
Shining Supernova!
Here!
Reload!
Dragon Swarm! Be still!
Saving this one.
First strike! Rising Falcon! Be still!
Now!
Glimmer!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
Got it!
Well done!
Ruin! Get it! Be still! Take this! You're finished! Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw! My fists are crushing it out there!
What's this thing?
Hoo. Maybe something's going on in the forest. This will be a delicious piece of cake. Let the marksman handle this. Gale force, steer it right down.
Be still! It's over!
You're mine.
This one's all mine! Rising Falcon!
Hear me, flame of
Here
fury!
I come!
Raging storm!
You're mine! Bullseye, Shion! No!
Get out of my sight, or you'll get hit!
Oops! Right! Sorry! Thanks!
This is barely target practice.
Then why bother fighting them?
Because I certainly won't run away from a battle.
A fish!
I didn't realize there was a pond here.
Yeah, this is Taka Pond. And it happened to have saved my life once upon a time.
What do you mean?
As a kid, I survived life under the past lords by escaping here when I needed to. It's terrible to swim in, but great for catching a bite for dinner away from Ren and eyes. Bear in mind, our rations back then weren't enough to live off of. You had to take matters into your own hands if you wanted enough food to survive.
But how did you catch them? With your bare hands?
That might take a while. Fish are prone to swim away at the first sign of trouble. I'd put bait or a lure on a line and use it with a fishing rod. You must not be familiar with fishing if this sounds new to you. Here, let me show you how it's done. Everything looks fine with the lure. All right, let's do this. All right. Anybody could reel in that.
Not too shabby, friend.
There we go. I'll catch something bigger next time.
Could have been worse. At least you caught something.
And that's all there is to it.
Wow. It seems like you need to have good reflexes to catch anything. I don't know if it's really for me. Kisara? I think I've seen enough.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just in my own little world when I go fishing.
Looks like we're going to be here for a while.
That's how fishing goes. You wait for a bite, and then the real battle begins. Miguel told me that different fish live in different regions, and you have to pick the right rod and lure for what you're hoping to catch.
But that doesn't change the fact it's a giant time sink.
Of course, each fish has its own unique flavor, too. And some of them are supposed to be extremely delicious.
When you put it like that, maybe it's worth me trying my hand at fishing after all.
You're just in it for the food.
I was hoping we'd get to fish during our travels. And it just so happens I made sure to grab my brother's old rod before I left Vicente. So, if you ever feel like fishing when we've got a little downtime, just let me know.
Good to hear. Thanks for showing us.
Okay!
I'm always amazed what healing arts can do.
Just doing my job.
Hey.
Hmm?
Is it just me, or have those two barely spoken a single word to one another?
I know, right? But after everything that happened with Miguel, is it really any wonder?
Kinda puts a damper on the whole journey though, huh? How long do you think they're gonna keep this up?
If it bothers you that much, why don't you ask them?
Why do I have to ask?
How come you walk together like that?
She really doesn't beat around the bush.
You mean Kisara and myself?
You hadn't noticed? You've been practically joined at the hip ever since we left Vicente.
I guess it's force of habit, most likely. I was always ready to protect him, should the need arise. It sort of came with the job description.
Right. From being in the Elder Menancia Guard. Although, Dohalim's pretty capable of defending himself, isn't he?
Having guards doesn't necessarily mean the one being guarded is weak. No one's perfect all the time.
Even so, it's not like they're entirely wrong, Kisara. You're no longer in my employ, after all.
I don't know. I mean, if it's what she's used to and you're both comfortable with it, then who are we to judge?
But she doesn't serve him anymore. It isn't normal for her to keep following him around like she still does.
You know, she's probably right. And a lot has changed over the last few days. I guess it wouldn't hurt to rethink our relationship in light of the new circumstances. Perhaps I'll give it some thought after all. Does that sound all right by you?
Of course.
You might want to stop asking his permission for every little thing while you're at it.
Sorry. It's not that easy, shaking off old habits. I'll probably need a little time to get fully used to it. I've noticed that sometimes we come across enemies who fight like you, and try to dodge our attacks at the last second.
I hate those guys. I can get some hits in when they move into attack, but otherwise they slip past damn near everything else I throw at them.
If what you're seeking is a way to more reliably hit them, there is a solution.
Try to outclass them on reflexes?
I possess the ability to command Earth elemental beings to some extent. They emerge as the land itself and take root on my command. They will swiftly bind the enemies, at which point you can dispatch them.
Huh?
What he means is that he can make plants grow to hold the enemies in place. At least I think that's probably what he's saying.
I'm glad at least one of us understands him. So basically, if we find an enemy that likes to dodge, we should let Dohalim handle it.
I shall do what I can within my modest means to help.
Why are you looking at me like that?
That armor you wear is standard issue for the Menancian Guard, right?
Originally, I've added some flair to it in a lot of places.
I noticed, especially with that open back.
We guardsmen pride ourselves on never showing our back to our enemies. It's my way of making myself live up to that. Plus, it makes it that much lighter and easier to maintain.
Dohalim, do you have anything to say about this?
Every guardsman is allowed to wear their armor as they see fit.
And you, La?
Huh? Why are you asking me?
Thanks for waiting. Eat as much as you like.
Kisara, let's talk for a bit. Maintaining your shield? It's becoming a familiar sight.
Miguel was the one who taught me how to maintain my equipment after I first joined the Guard. Now it's just a part of my routine.
Your brother always seems to come up whenever I talk to you.
That's because we had no other relatives, so it was just the two of us growing up. He was my idol, the one I looked up to and wanted to be like. When I became a guardsman, Lagiel wasn't too pleased to see me at first. It was Miguel who really welcomed me aboard.
Lagiel? Oh, right. She was Miguel's second in the Gold Dust Cats, wasn't she?
That's right. She's always been a very critical and down-to-earth person. In other words, the complete opposite of a dreamer like me.
You're more an idealist than some pie-in-the-sky dreamer.
Even so, that's my brother's doing. He'd never let me stop seeing a brighter world. He always did what he could to keep me smiling and happy.
You must have meant a lot to him.
He wasn't just kind either. He always worked so hard to set an example for me and everyone else around him. He was a true big brother. So much so that when he thought I was asleep, he'd slip out of the house to go training on the outskirts of town.
You seem to know a lot about it.
That's because I only pretended to be asleep and would follow after him. You know what? I'm at a good stopping point with my shield. If you've got time, how about I tell you a couple more Miguel stories?
I guess I'd better get comfortable.
I'll take watch tonight. It's okay. Before we go, do you guys have everything?
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
I just noticed none of you other Danans have spirit cores. Why is that?
Both of my parents were part of the resistance in Calaglia. In fact, my birth was kept a secret from the Renans.
Mine too. We always lived in hiding, so I never had a spirit core embedded in me like I was supposed to.
What about you, Alphen? You were a slave in Calaglia before all this, weren't you?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure why I don't have one. All the other Danon slaves around me did. I was the only exception. They tended to keep their distance from me to avoid attracting any attention from the soldiers, because of my mask and all. What about you, Kisara? Do you still have your spirit core?
No. I was able to find a good Renan doctor who's sympathetic to our kind, and had them remove it before I left. They did such a great job, the procedure didn't even leave a scar.
One of the benefits of coexistence, huh?
I know that once the spirit vessel was shut down, there wasn't much need for me to hurry. But still, I didn't like having that mark of servitude lingering on me any longer than I had to. It may sound a little strange to hear me say this, but I'm just me now. Not a guardsman or a slave. I'm my own woman, and this is my chance to have a new beginning.
This sure is one rugged road. You'd think they'd keep this at least a little better maintained, right?
Why spend energy fixing that which is rarely used? Repairs require time and effort, which in our world means slaves, often in great numbers. For you, it may be a simple request, but that can quickly become another's difficult burden. Nobody gains anything without someone expending effort.
And you know, somehow that someone always ends up being a Danon, while the Renans are the ones who gain.
True enough. Ideally, in a perfect world, I think it's only fair that the ones who need it should be the ones to perform the work.
However, when doing so could be dangerous like it is here, there are many who would prefer that it be others who risk their lives in their stead.
So, what you're saying is that people will just put up with the inconvenience until someone else comes along to fix it for them?
Indeed. And it is those who can no longer bear that feeling that inevitably take action. Much like the Danons in our group do so now. As strange as it may be to hear such a thing from the likes of myself.
It's true that most of the Danons in Calaglia have been resigned to just accepting things as they are. Still, we can't just blame them for...
What are you making that face for? You're not worn out already, are you?
Nah, just regretting I ever said anything in the first place.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing. Airborne beat. My spec. I'm never finished.
Got fire.
I've got this. Let a marksman handle this.
All yours.
Rising
Falcon.
Now!
Enough done. Shield.
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. Now. It's over.
Reload! Air thrust!
I'll finish you right now. Take this. We can't lay a finger on it.
I prefer it that way. What about you?
Just watch and see. You're finished. You're mine. I'm on it. You're mine. It's over. Totally. In an instant. Impact clock.
Looks like we got them all.
All right.
There's nowhere to run from my heart. When he slows down, that's our chance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall.
Dragon Force!
Do you require a hand?
It's over.
No further!
Raging Storm! Storm Tail!
Take this!
Do you require a hand?
Get the wind! In here!
Can't get out of this! Watch Dragon Force! Here! Now we're not just without! Here I come! Rising Falcon! Megasonic Fire! You're mine! Can't get out of this! Talon Hurricane! Dragon Force!
Please now, here it goes. Holy baby, this is
You're mine! Crumble!
more with that camera on
Got it!
It's over.
Prepare to be seized! I'm on it! Be still! You're on! You're mine! Dragon Force! It's over! Stardust! I'm on it! You're mine! You're finished!
In a bind?
Dragon Force! Rinwell! Light Burst Force!
Radiant Genesis!
Got some interesting moves there, Dohalim. I'm glad you're on our side.
I'm simply glad to hear that I can make myself useful to you all. Huh?
What's wrong?
We seem to have come across some rather unusual objects.
What, you mean that pile of garbage?
No mere garbage, I assure you. Still, I've never seen anything shaped like it before. I'm intrigued.
Are you curious about this stuff, Rinwell?
Yeah. I think he might have found some old Danon relics. They look like the remains of a bunch of objects that disappeared after the Renans first invaded.
And yet here I am, holding them without so much as a second thought. I imagine the sight must be unsettling to you.
Not really, just that it must be nice to be a Renan who has time to indulge in stuff like that, unlike the rest of us.
Are you interested in this stuff too, Dohalim?
Charmed may be a better turn of phrase. I simply love objects that can give me a sense of what their maker was thinking, the history that went into their creation. You see, we Renans have hardly any such objects that trace back to our distant past.
I still don't understand what you two find so intriguing about it, though.
Why not? We're talking about our own culture here.
I get that, but it's not like this stuff is any use now, does it? It's just old. Real old.
Oh, but it does. Holding it in your hands like this, one can feel and engage with the distant past in a way no history book can ever accomplish.
I'll take your word for it. Well, seeing as it's Danon history, just make sure you're careful with it. All right, Dohalim?
But of course. There's history in the air here. I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
With this, I can become even stronger.
Visibility along this path will remain limited for some time. Take care not to get ambushed.
I'm surprised you know the terrain here so well. Woods don't strike me as having much time for wandering in the woods.
Sometimes I would take strolls along here when I wished to be alone.
You always did have a bad habit of disappearing without telling any of us guardsmen.
us.
expert coming
This
through.
one's tough.
Don't mind if I do.
This one's all mine. Enough done. Down.
Flying free! Get still!
Sia, can you take care of them?
Thank you. Did they not teach you to say thank you in Dana? Not to a Renin they don't.
I lost myself in the heat of the moment. These fists have got your name on them!
That's my cue. Do it!
Shut him down.
Kisara, frozen.
Hammer!
Flame of fury!
Ignite.
I'm on a roll
Now we're
now!
on. Enough. You're mine.
Take this!
Okay, here I go.
Did you just heal me?
Yes, I need you, remember?
Right.
Art expert, coming
Transform! Blow away!
It's over.
Eat this! You're done!
It's over.
Eat this!
Seal. Get on in there with the others.
I'll smash you!
Here I come. Lightning
Raging
thrust.
storm.
Through it,
Where
kid.
did that came from?
Shut up.
Eat this! Talon Hurricane!
Here I come. Megasonic thrust.
Leave the target to me! Your sword!
Burn in hell.
Take this!
Do it!
Blow away.
Lightning orb!
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Flying light spear. Tear.
I'm not so good with airborne targets.
I'm on a roll now! Pesky airborne scoundrel!
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
It's over.
Dance in the wind!
You're mine. You're finished.
My astral energy! Eagle Cloud!
Tornado Alpha.
Fury! Burning strike!
Be still.
Got me flying!
Crush.
Eat that!
Here I come. It's over.
Anything
Do
you
it!
want to roll on!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
Not
I'm on
yet.
it!
Dance in the wind!
Rising
Air
spell.
thrust!
Down!
Eternal devastation.
Do it!
Kia.
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. Now.
One
Take
more.
it on it.
Just yet! Talon
Flying light spear.
Now!
Hurricane thrust.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
The heavens must be smiling.
It's so hilly around here. I can feel my feet getting blisters.
That's mountain hiking for you. It can be pretty tough if you're not used to these sorts of trails.
I take it you're comfortable with them then?
Oh yeah, we used to run up and down these.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
It's over.
I'm ready.
Tornado Alpha.
Where that came from?
Eternal devastation.
Talon Hurricane! Lightning!
Not today.
Seal!
Form.
Leave the enemy's arts to me.
Tornado Alpha.
No complaints here!
Do it!
Why'd you heal me?
Blow them away!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Take this.
This one's mine!
You're finished. Lightning thrust. Mirage.
Here I go!
Eternal devastation. Lightning thrust.
Photon blast! Here I go! I'm only there, you don't!
Be still.
Watch
Flame
it!
of fury! Not in your dreams!
Here I come. You're finished.
Eat this! I can carve through
The
all!
tide of battle has turned.
That's the power of comrades in arms!
Comrades in arms.
Too sentimental?
You're finished. Lunar Rondo.
Here I go!
Soaring
Do
light
it!
spear.
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
bad feeling about this.
You're finished! Eat this!
I'm ready!
Take this! Dragon Swarm! Lightning Strike! Take this! Rising Falcon! Raining Flash! It's over!
The enemy here wants too.
We'll soon see them.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Dragon!
I'm just
Dragon Swarm!
I'm surrounded!
Take this!
You're mine.
Do it! I'm throwing Light Spear!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off!
That one's mine.
Rising Falcon!
Do it!
It's on! Kisara!
All yours, Kisara!
I can feel my precision improving.
This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
I'm on it! Here it comes!
Reload!
I'll smash you!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Take this!
It's on! Here I come!
Hey, when did I get so
Not
popular?
today! It's too much!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! See that?
That training's paying off! You're on!
Here we go! Feel like me! Come on, roll now!
Lightning Thrust!
Hey, Cook, one more.
Soaring Light Spear! Lunarondo! Rising Falcon! Dragon Swarm! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Take it.
No, this time! I've still got a ways to go.
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
More Danon runes here too, I see.
What were people even thinking back then? Trying to build anything around here.
Maybe they just had that much time and energy on their hands.
I won't forgive you!
Dragon Swarm! Raining Flash! Eternal Devastation! Take this!
I can carve through armor!
Sword Lane Alpha!
Now!
Storm! Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Not today!
I'm all stuffed up!
You're mine!
Here we go! Never miss!
You're
Blow
finished!
slice!
Ripping tear! Now
Fury!
now I'm real mad!
Very well! Astral energy! Full throttle!
Not a chance! Cut! It's over!
Leave the charges to me!
I owe you one!
That's
Dragon Swarm!
Swallow
I'm not done!
Thunderblade!
Here I come! Be still!
Raging Cascade!
Rising Falcon!
I'm practically unstoppable.
Sure, I've built up a sweat with it. Psych.
Rest assured, we have reached the top. It's all downhill from here, quite literally.
So Mahawk Tsar's just up ahead then?
Indeed. If you look, across this mountain is the Lord's Keep.
I'm like bait to them.
Be still!
Here I go! I'm
You're
all
on! Blew away! Tear! Lunarondo! You're
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Swordblade Alpha! Crush!
Do it! Astral energy!
I'm on still!
What's this?
What cleared it out?
Let me take the rest of them.
Well, someone's feeling lively.
Not today!
Here I go! Alright!
Swordblade Alpha! Raining Flash!
Shining Supernova! With this, I can become even stronger.
Oh man, I hope I live long enough to regret this.
Hurricane Thrust! Here I come!
Where are you going?
Soda! Lightning Rocket! It's over!
I'll smash you!
Blow away! Here I come! It's over! You're mine! I'm not done! Hurricane Thrust!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes?
Something you wanted to say?
We managed to pull through.
What's this place here? Some kind of old house?
I don't know about that. If I...
Swordblade Alpha! Megasonic Thrust!
Here's a healing art! Supernova! Not angry!
Now, take this!
Here I go! Astral energy! I'm just getting close!
Do it!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Shut!
Well done!
Here I come!
Eat this! Gravitas field! Tunnel!
Did you see?
Sure did. The part where you swung and missed, right?
Not that part!
Out of our way!
Dragon Swarm! Swordblade Alpha! Megasonic Thrust!
Tunnel! Light astral energy! Where are you going?
You're mine!
I'll heal you all!
Dragon Swarm!
I'm sorry to be a bother.
We've all got enough.
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Shut!
Well done!
It's over! I'll take you all on! Soaring Light Spear!
We're thinning them out.
Please squad me.
I'll admit I'm impressed. Very slow.
Swordblade Alpha!
This one's mine!
You're mine! You're finished! I'm on Turbo Power! Swordblade Alpha!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood. No choice.
Megasonic!
In a bind?
Here I go! I'm only
Take
getting
this!
older! Can't get
You shouldn't have messed with me.
Swordblade Alpha! Megasonic Thrust! It's time to station! Be still! You'll eat dirt! I'll run you through!
Here I go! Rage your now! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
See you continue on in that vein.
Yes, my lady?
Something you wanted to say?
Astral energy!
Say no more.
You sure showed them.
All in a day's work.
on! Megasonic Thrust! Take this!
Sleep now. Not a dream.
You're mine! It's over!
Shattering of
Turbine Alpha! It's on! Megasonic Thrust! Lightning Thrust! Burn!
Come and face me. Prepare to be sealed, though. These are fun. Actually, what sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing.
Hurricane Thrust!
I'm just getting
Lightning Thrust! Okay, here I go! You're mine!
Now you see what I can do.
Here! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Raging
Megasonic Thrust!
Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
Now! Rising Falcon! Lightning Thrust! Total Devastation! Rising Falcon! You're mine! I'm on it!
I need something to eat.
I'm even stronger than before. We got some good equipment!
I can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally. Through these lands most verdant green, my eyes alight for sights unseen. In Menancia, pure and pristine.
What is it you see exactly?
That's not for me to say.
Guess I misread the landing.
Get lost! He's in the sky on mine!
I'm on it!
Sight!
You're
mine! Raging cascade!
Flew away!
Sleep now!
Be still!
Lightning condemned! Where are you going?
Here I come! Lightning Thrust!
I'm on a roll, man!
Dragon Thrust!
I'm all packed up!
Thrust!
You all tucked away!
Be still! Take this! Rising Falcon!
There with the
I'm on it! Megasonic Thrust! Lightning Thrust!
Healing circle!
You're mine! I owe you one. No further!
In here!
So much for sitting this fight out.
You picked the wrong fight!
No kidding, silly.
Dragon Shell! Take this!
We're thinning them out. See what? Please? More like me.
Go ahead, I'm impressed. Very sweet. I'm only getting started.
It's over! I can carve through
No! I'm ready! Kill him! This one's got your name on it!
to action!
I'm reaching my limit, you guys.
Damn. Guess we better be extra careful.
Hi, Hoodle!
You're mine!
Fury! Here comes! Mind if I do?
You're on!
Raging cascade!
Flew away!
Into the ground! Here goes!
Rising Falcon!
Do it! All Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
Raging
No!
cascade!
Take it!
I'm only getting
True.
started! Demons descend!
Flashing bang!
Easy! Way to go!
I'm not done! Lightning Thrust! You're on! Lightning Thrust! Hurricane Thrust! Ignite! Start up!
Take this!
It's over!
This one's mine!
Dragon Swarm!
Do it!
We did it! No, you can't! You're finished! Here I come! It's over!
Oh! Now I'm real mad!
Lunar Rondo!
Raging
I'm on it! Take this!
Ready and ready!
Take this!
That's my one!
Lunar Escape!
you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
There! Go!
Lightning thrust!
I'm doing it!
Rising rocket! Demon's descent! Flashing fang!
I've still got a ways to go.
Phew, what a rush.
Still thinking about how to act around Dohalim?
That obvious, huh? Except I don't think I'll be changing much after all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to stay his servant. However, I am going to treat him like a fellow comrade, the same way I would with you or anyone else. For as long as I can remember, I've spent my life protecting others. But isn't that what friends do too? Support and protect one another in times of need?
Which in the end pretty much means doing as you've always done, right? If that's what you're most comfortable with, I'm certainly not going to give you any grief over it.
Actually, I've been thinking about how I ought to act around you all as well.
Oh?
When I set out on this journey, it was to rid Eldaman and Sia of its enemies, and search for wisdom in the outside world. Wisdom that I could potentially put to use on my return. I'm grateful to you all for letting me tag along. But it got me thinking, what am I actually contributing by being here?
What are you talking about? You know how to hold a weapon, don't you? That's help enough.
Is it though? Sometimes I wish there was more I could be doing to pull my...
Oops, sorry about that. Jeez, I'm famished.
Now that you mention it, what do you guys normally do for food and meals when you're out and about on your travels?
What do you mean, what do we do? We find stuff to eat and eat it. So long as it's meat, I'm not fussy.
Eating what you like can be good for morale in the short term, but you need to think about your diet if you want to stay healthy.
Does that mean eating vegetables too?
Isn't that obvious?
It does, which I guess hasn't been happening up till now.
Yeah, to be honest, we could be eating better than we do.
Understood. In that case, I'll just have to make sure you're all staying healthy and eating right myself. Fortunately, I happen to know a thing or two about cooking as well.
You hear that, Law? Sounds like you'll be eating your greens after all.
What is it?
No, sorry, it's just... I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on all this.
It will do her good to have a project.
No, not Kisara. I meant you. Was there anything you wanted to add?
Me? Certainly you're not looking to me for culinary skill, I hope.
Typical Renan, leaving everything to someone else.
Rinwell, I don't think...
That said, should you need my skills on the battlefield, please rest assured I have no intention of shirking my responsibilities, regardless of who we may face.
I'm sure no one doubts that. Listen, guys, if we're traveling together, we should probably at least try to make an effort to get to know one another, don't you think?
I wouldn't get your expectations too high in that regard. Believe it or not, sometimes I'm not sure I even know myself all that well.
Something wrong? You look like you're deep in thought.
Not exactly. I was merely thinking about you two and your sense of etiquette.
Oh?
Etiquette?
Indeed. To be quite frank, I find your lack of manners to be nigh intolerable.
That's not being frank, that's being and forget it. Do we really need to talk about this now?
Yes, I find such impropriety on your parts to be deeply unsettling. It concerns me greatly.
What do you want us to do? We were slaves. We never got to learn how to be proper like you.
Yeah, what he said. Maybe you missed how we were just focused on surviving.
Perhaps, but Kisara here demonstrates that it's quite possible for a Denon to learn proper manners.
That's because I was given the opportunity to learn. Moreover, my duties as a guardsman required it. Not every realm is like Menancia, as you well know.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to hold us to some other city standards.
Exactly. You've got to remember what it's been like for us living under the Rena elsewhere.
I will concede that you do indeed make a valid point. It would appear, for all my espousing the virtues of equality between our peoples, I was still looking down on the two of you.
You don't need to beat yourself up. I wasn't that offended by what you said, man.
Nevertheless, I shall mind my words from here on out. Having said that, I do believe you two would still benefit from learning the basics of proper society. I would be more than happy to teach you both when we camp out, if you like.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Acting all prim and proper isn't really my style.
If you say so. How about you, Law? Would you like to learn? Although I suppose my first task is to reform your attitude toward the idea of good etiquette.
You're not gonna let this go, are you?
Hey, let's stop for a minute.
What's up? You already tired?
My armor's pretty heavy. I think I need a little rest.
I second that. All of this walking is starting to take its toll on me as well.
What? You don't look it.
We can't spare the time. There's places we need to be. Mahag-Sar's capital, Niez, is our destination right now.
But if one of us collapses, it will only serve to slow us down. And in your case, Alphen is the only one who could carry you. Best to rest while you have the opportunity.
Enough already. I need a break, so we're taking one.
I don't need you fretting over me.
Fretting? Hey, it's not like I'm...
Been looking for you.
For me? Why?
He's tough.
Who are you? You said you were looking for me. Why?
Beautiful, precious life.
What the...
That is all I desire.
Then why are we fighting? Who even are you?
First strike! Take this! Try this on for size!
Take
Move!
Enjoy.
Dragon form!
Here.
Try harder!
Not a chance.
Thrust! Swallow dance! Who the hell are you? Bastard!
This guy's not normal.
His speed is unbelievable.
You mean he even surpasses a lord? This one's mine. I'll bring you down from depths abyss.
Here we go again.
I'm on!
Ball. Close that. No, it's over.
Try harder! Now! You're mine!
Here's a healing
Swallow
ball.
dance!
First aid.
Here I come! Try harder! Not a chance! Swallow dance! Try harder! Not a chance!
Die.
Not a chance! Here I come! On a roll now!
Fall.
You'll pay for that!
Take
This
this.
one's all mine!
Lightning orb.
Burn in hell! Eagle fly!
Here.
Raging cascades. Spread.
You're mine!
Enjoy.
Take this! Rocket jump! It's over!
benediction
Sleep
light.
now.
I owe you a... Take this.
Reveal.
Enjoy.
Take this! I'm not!
Reveal.
Forgive me. This is my fault. Enjoy.
From beyond!
Take this. From beyond. Die.
Confiscated.
From beyond!
Enjoy.
In the wind.
From beyond!
I can't
From beyond! Imbue this banquet soul! Light!
Take this.
Let's go.
Die. Is that all that you've got? Very well. Then die. Oh? A wretch like you? Till next time.
Shion! Wake up! Please!
Alvin,
Shion!
thanks, but you're kind of crushing me.
Sorry.
It's okay. And so am I. It's not as bad as it looks.
Not bad. That's... Shion, we thought
I'm
you were...
fine. Really.
What the hell were you thinking?
Well, you were trying to protect me too, you know.
Yeah, but I have the sword. It's different.
It's not different. Besides,
Hmm?
Never mind. It's nothing. Anyway, thank you.
But I didn't... Look, I'm just glad that you're...
Alvin?
Sorry.
That guy said he'd be back. I think maybe we should get moving before he returns, right?
Rinwell has a good point. We need to go. Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Shion, are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I already applied some healing arts to it. It didn't even leave a scar.
But his sword went nearly straight through you.
I'm all right. Unless I've turned into some kind of ghost and I'm haunting you all right now.
No, I know you're not. It's just...
Look, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm fine, really.
There was also that strange light that appeared when Shion was stabbed. It seemed to make the enemy retreat when he saw it. Alphen, do you have any idea what it might have been?
A light? I don't know. I was kind of preoccupied with other things at the time.
Now that I think of it, between that light and the blazing sword, just what sort of person are you, Alphen? Can you use Danon astral arts like Rinwell, perhaps?
He wouldn't know, Dohalim. He doesn't have any memories from his past, remember? Besides, we should really be getting out of here.
I suppose you're right. Forgive me. We've almost reached Nias, the capital of Mahag Sar. With any luck, we'll find a place there for Shion to rest.